Gentlemen, what if I told you that the position you think drives her wild might actually be the one she secretly dreads? What if the moves you see in movies, the positions other men swear by, the techniques you've relied on for years are actually creating discomfort, disconnection, or worse, pain that she's never told you about? I'm Dr. Julia Rhodes, a sexual health specialist with over a decade of clinical experience working with thousands of couples. And today, I'm going to reveal something most women will never say out loud. The 5 positions that women consistently report loving, and the 5 they absolutely hate but pretend to enjoy because they don't want to hurt your feelings or seem difficult. This isn't about judgment. It's not about making you feel like you've been doing everything wrong. It's about giving you the truth so you can create experiences she genuinely loves instead of ones she's just tolerating. Because here's what most men don't realize. When she's uncomfortable, when she's in pain, when she's secretly wishing it would end, her body shuts down. Arousal disappears. Connection breaks. And over time, she starts avoiding intimacy altogether, not because she doesn't desire you, but because she's learned to associate it with discomfort. So stay with me, because what I'm about to share could transform your intimate life completely. But first, you need to understand why most men get this so completely wrong. Most men learn about sex positions from 3 sources. Porn, which is designed for camera angles, not female pleasure. Other men, who are usually lying or exaggerating. And trial and error, which means you're guessing based on her politeness, not her genuine response. The problem is, women are trained from a young age to be accommodating, to not make waves, to prioritize your satisfaction over their own comfort. So even when a position hurts, even when it does nothing for her, even when she's counting the minutes until it's over, she'll say, "That's fine," or "whatever you want," or she'll just go silent and endure it. And you, thinking silence means consent or satisfaction, keep doing it. Year after year. Sometimes decade after decade. Here's what research shows. In anonymous surveys where women can speak freely without fear of judgment, over 60% admit they regularly fake enjoyment of certain positions. Not because they're trying to deceive you, but because they've learned that speaking up leads to awkwardness, hurt feelings, or their concerns being dismissed. So they perform. They make the sounds. They move in ways that suggest pleasure. And you never know the difference. But here's the truth. When a woman genuinely loves a position, her body can't lie. Her breathing changes. Her skin flushes. Her muscles engage in specific ways. She initiates movement instead of just receiving it. And when she hates a position, her body tells that truth too. She goes still. Her breathing becomes shallow. She tenses up instead of relaxing. She endures instead of enjoying. Once you understand what women actually love and why, and more importantly, what they hate and why they hate it, everything changes. You stop wasting time on positions that do nothing for her. You stop accidentally causing discomfort or pain. And you start creating experiences that make her crave intimacy with you instead of avoiding it. So let me walk you through the 5 positions women consistently report hating, and then the 5 they genuinely love. And I promise you, some of these are going to surprise you. The 5 positions women hate, but often pretend to enjoy. Position number 5 women hate: standing from behind. You've seen this in every movie. The spontaneous kitchen moment. The hallway passion. It looks incredibly hot. But here's what's actually happening for her. Biologically, When she's standing and you're behind her, the angle of penetration often hits her cervix directly, which for most women creates sharp, uncomfortable pressure, not pleasure. Physically, she's trying to balance while being pushed forward. Her legs are tense. She can't relax into sensation because she's focused on not falling over. If there's a height difference, the angle becomes even more awkward. She's either on her toes, which is exhausting, or bent at an uncomfortable angle that strains her back. Emotionally, this position offers zero intimacy. She can't see you. She can't kiss you. She feels disconnected, like she's just a body being used rather than a person being desired. Practically, women report this position makes them feel objectified rather than cherished, especially if there's no build-up or emotional connection first. Now, does this mean you should never try standing positions? No. But if you do, you need to understand what makes it work. Proper height alignment, her hands braced on something stable for support, checking in with her constantly, and keeping it brief because it's physically demanding for her. Position number 4 women hate: deep penetration positions where she has no control. This includes things like her legs up on your shoulders, you holding her legs wide apart, any position where you're going as deep as possible, and she can't adjust or create space if needed. Here's why women hate this. Biologically, the vaginal canal is only 3 to 6 inches deep when unaroused and expands to maybe 4 to 7 inches when fully aroused. Going deeper than that doesn't create more pleasure. It creates pain. The cervix, when hit repeatedly, causes cramping and discomfort that can last for hours after sex ends. Physically, when her legs are held up or back, she's locked in position. She can't move. She can't adjust the angle if something hurts. She's completely at your mercy, and if you're not paying attention to her reactions, you're causing pain without knowing it. Emotionally, these positions make many women feel vulnerable in a negative way. Not the good vulnerability of trust, but the bad vulnerability of helplessness. She wants to feel desired, not dominated in ways that ignore her comfort. I had a client, Robert, 61, from Denver, who came to me because his wife of 35 years had completely lost interest in intimacy. After some careful conversation, she finally admitted that for years, his favorite position had been causing her pain, but she never said anything because she didn't want to hurt his feelings. Once he learned to use positions where she had more control, and he paid attention to depth, their intimacy transformed completely. Position number 3 women hate: extended time in positions that require core strength. This includes things like her on top for long periods, especially if you're not actively participating, or any position where she's supporting her own body weight while also trying to create movement and pleasure. Biologically, women's bodies fatigue faster in these positions because they're fighting gravity while also trying to manage arousal and sensation. What starts feeling good becomes exhausting. Physically, when she's on top and you're just lying there, she's doing all the work. Her thighs burn. Her core aches. She's wondering if you're even enjoying it or if you're bored. The physical exhaustion kills her arousal. Emotionally, being on top can make women feel self-conscious. She's worried about how her body looks from that angle. She's concerned about whether she's moving right. She's in her head instead of in her body. And if she's genuinely tired, the position that started with promise becomes something she's just trying to get through. Now, does this mean she should never be on top? Absolutely not. Many women love being on top when it's done right. The key is active participation from you. Your hands on her hips guiding rhythm. Your body moving with hers, not just lying passive. Verbal encouragement so she knows you're present. And switching positions before she's exhausted, not after. Position number 2 women hate. Positions where she can't breathe properly. This happens more than you'd think. Her face pressed into a pillow. Your body weight on her chest. Positions where her neck is craned at an awkward angle. Any scenario where her airflow is restricted. Biologically, arousal requires oxygen. When breathing is restricted, the body goes into mild stress response. Blood flow decreases. Arousal diminishes. What could have been pleasurable becomes just uncomfortable. Physically, if she can't breathe, she can't relax. She's focused on getting air, not on sensation. Her body tenses. Her mind disconnects. She's waiting for it to end. Emotionally, not being able to breathe creates panic, not passion. Even if it's mild, even if she doesn't consciously realize it's happening, her nervous system registers threat. And when her body feels threatened, arousal is impossible. Practically, always make sure her head is positioned so she can breathe freely. Check that your weight isn't on her chest. Notice if she's gasping for air versus breathing in that deep, pleasurable rhythm that signals genuine arousal. And now, the number 1 position women hate, and this might shock you. Position number 1 women hate. Standard missionary with no variation. Wait, you're thinking. Missionary is the most basic position. How can women hate it? Here's the truth. Women don't hate missionary itself. They hate boring, repetitive, disconnected missionary where you're just thrusting with no attention to what she actually needs. Biologically, standard missionary with simple in and out motion provides almost no clitoral stimulation. And since 82% of women need clitoral stimulation to reach climax, you're giving her a position that by design can't fully satisfy her. Physically, if you're just doing the same repetitive motion, she gets numb. There's no variation in angle, depth, or rhythm. It becomes mechanical, not intimate. Emotionally, missionary can feel like you're just using her body to get yourself off. She's lying there. You're doing all the movement. There's no collaboration, no shared rhythm, no sense of being together in the experience. Practically, women report that bad missionary is the position where they're most likely to mentally check out, to start thinking about tomorrow's schedule, to wonder how much longer it will take, to just wait for it to be over. Now here's the key. Missionary can be incredible when done right. And that brings me to the 5 positions women actually love. These aren't complicated. They're not acrobatic. But they're designed around what actually creates pleasure for female bodies. The 5 positions women love, when done correctly. Position number 5 women love. Modified missionary with alignment. Remember earlier when I said women hate boring missionary? This is the opposite. Modified missionary means your body is positioned slightly higher, creating consistent contact between the base of your shaft and her clitoral area. Your movement is a rocking motion, not just in and out. You're moving together in shared rhythm. Biologically, this creates the clitoral stimulation 82% of women need. The consistent pressure and movement build arousal progressively instead of creating numbness. Physically, she can wrap her legs around you, pull you closer, participate actively. Her hands are free to touch you. She can kiss you. It's collaborative, not passive. Emotionally, this position offers face-to-face intimacy, eye contact, closeness, the feeling of being held and desired, not just penetrated. For women over 50, this is consistently rated as one of the most satisfying positions because it combines physical pleasure with emotional connection. Practically, this is also ideal for men over 60 because it doesn't require extreme stamina or flexibility. It's about presence, rhythm, and attention, not athletic performance. Position number 4 women love. Her on top with your active participation. Notice I said with your active participation. When women are on top and you're engaged, hands on her hips, moving with her, verbal encouragement, this becomes one of the most pleasurable positions possible. Biologically, she controls depth, angle, and speed. She can find exactly what feels good and stay there. She can adjust if something's uncomfortable. She has complete agency over her own pleasure. Physically, when you're actively participating, guiding her hips, moving your own body in rhythm with hers, she's not doing all the work. It becomes a dance, not a solo performance. Emotionally, being on top when you're clearly enjoying her, looking at her with genuine desire, telling her how good she feels, this makes her feel powerful and beautiful. It's the opposite of objectification. It's celebration. Practically, if she seems tired, gently flip her into another position before exhaustion kills arousal. Keep her feeling desired, not like she's failing to perform. Position number 3 women love, side-by-side positions. This includes spooning, facing each other on your sides, or scissored positions. These are deeply underrated, but incredibly effective for mature couples. Biologically, side positions allow for slower, more controlled movement. Penetration tends to be shallower, which means less risk of cervical discomfort. Your hands are free to stimulate her clitoris, breasts, or anywhere else she loves to be touched. Physically, both bodies are relaxed. There's no strain, no fighting gravity, no exhaustion. It's sustainable. You can maintain these positions for extended time without anyone getting tired. Emotionally, side positions are intimate without being intense. They're perfect for slow, connected intimacy where the goal is closeness rather than performance. For men over 60 who may have concerns about stamina or physical limitations, side positions remove that pressure entirely. Practically, these positions are ideal for morning intimacy, for times when you want connection without athletic effort, and for partners with physical conditions that make other positions challenging. Position number 2 women love, her sitting on your lap, facing you. This position, whether you're sitting on a chair, edge of the bed, or couch, is incredibly popular with women for good reason. Biologically, she controls depth and movement while also getting upper body contact. Her clitoris can make contact with your body. She can move in ways that create exactly the stimulation she needs. Physically, her legs are around you. You're holding each other. It's intimate, collaborative, and neither person is bearing uncomfortable weight. Your hands can touch her back, her hips, her breasts. Full body connection. Emotionally, this is one of the most intimate positions possible. You're face to face. Eye contact is natural. You can kiss easily. You're literally wrapped around each other. She feels held and cherished, not just penetrated. Practically, this position is especially good for building arousal slowly. The movement tends to be naturally slower, more grinding than thrusting, which creates sustained clitoral stimulation instead of overwhelming intensity. And now, the number one position women love, supported by decades of research and thousands of anonymous surveys. Position number one women love, modified from behind with her having control of depth. I know earlier I said women hate standing from behind. This is completely different. This is her on hands and knees or lying on her stomach, with you behind her, but she controls depth by the position of her hips. She can push back toward you when she wants more, or create space when she needs less. Biologically, this angle allows for G-spot stimulation while also giving your hands complete access to her clitoris. You can stimulate multiple areas simultaneously, which creates blended orgasms that many women describe as the most intense pleasure possible. Physically, she's stable. She's not fighting gravity or trying to balance. Her body can relax into sensation instead of working against physics. Emotionally, here's the key. From behind positions feel primal and deeply arousing when done with respect and connection. But they need build-up. They need emotional safety first. If you've created intimacy, if she trusts you completely, if she knows you'll pay attention to her reactions, then from behind becomes incredibly powerful. Practically never go straight to this position. Build arousal first with other positions or foreplay. Check in verbally. And most importantly, pay attention to her body language. If she's pushing back toward you, that's a green light. If she's pulling away or going still, she needs you to adjust depth, angle, or intensity. Now, here's what you absolutely must understand. These positions only work when you're paying attention to her responses. Every woman is different. What one woman loves, another might hate. Your job isn't to memorize a script. It's to become fluent in reading your specific partner's body language. Let me give you the 3 critical principles that make any position work, regardless of which one you choose. Principle number 1. Build arousal before penetration. No position feels good if she's not properly aroused. Her body needs time to prepare. Blood flow needs to increase. Lubrication needs to occur. Muscles need to relax. If you skip foreplay and go straight to penetration, even the best position will feel uncomfortable or boring for her. Principle number 2. Prioritize her pleasure, not your performance. The goal isn't to last a certain amount of time or hit a certain number of positions. The goal is her genuine enjoyment. Sometimes that means staying in one position she loves. Sometimes that means slowing down when you'd naturally speed up. Sometimes that means using your hands or mouth more than penetration. Principle number 3. Create emotional safety through communication. The positions women love most are the ones where they feel safe enough to guide you. Ask her what feels good. Tell her to show you what she needs. Create an environment where she can say, a little to the left, or slower, or right there, without fear of killing the mood. For men over 60, you have a massive advantage here. You're not trying to prove anything. You're not performing for an imaginary audience. You understand that the best sex isn't about athleticism, it's about attention. That patience isn't weakness, it's mastery. And that her pleasure is the measure of your success, not how many positions you can demonstrate. I covered the specific techniques for each of these positions, including hand placement, rhythm patterns, and the exact progression from arousal to climax in last week's newsletter. If you're not subscribed, links in the description. So here's my question for you. How many of the positions you've been using are actually on the hate list? And are you ready to focus on what she genuinely loves instead of what you assume she wants? Drop it in the comments. And if you want the complete guide to creating pleasure for women over 50, including advanced positioning techniques, communication strategies, and insights I can't share on YouTube, join my free newsletter. Every week, real strategies that transform intimacy. Links in the description and pinned in the comments. Remember, the best position isn't the one that looks impressive. It's the one where she completely lets go, where her pleasure is undeniable, where she initiates intimacy because she knows it's going to be incredible. That's what separates good lovers from unforgettable ones. I'm Dr. Julia Rhodes, and I'll see you in the next one.